Now I want to talk about different kinds of working visas, such as what kind of opportunity have you for skilled working visa?
If the candidate is offshore, that is in Bangladesh, what they should do is they should consult what's called the occupation list. And there are two occupation lists. There is the short-term skilled occupation list, and then there is the medium-term occupation list. Those occupation lists determine who can come to Australia, that is, who has the skills that are necessary. For example, if, you were an expert in human relations and you had qualifications overseas that were recognised in Australia and you had sound work experience, which could be verified, then you would be looking for that occupation on the skilled occupation list so that you could migrate to Australia. As a general rule, it's overall better to have a sponsor, that is to be sponsored for the visa, because then you've got an interested party in Australia so that if the application is refused, you're going to have review rights. But the key to the skilled migration categories are the occupation lists. So unfortunately, if you are over 45, you can't get skilled migration to Australia unless it is for temporary residence.
So now I have a question from our audience, and that's, I have been working as a lineman in rural electricity in Bangladesh for 8 years long. I'm 29 years old and I have completed my higher secondary school. Can I apply for skill visa without any kind of job offer?
Yes, you can, and you're at the right age, that is, you're under 45, you've got work experience, but your problem is going to be involve two factors. One is you have to be able to speak English at the right level through an IELTS test, and you can get all this information online, and you would need to have your qualifications as an electrical linesman recognised in Australia. And what I would recommend in respect of that potential candidate is that potential candidate come onshore on a student visa, get their qualifications up to scratch and get recognised, and then seek a position onshore for a 482 visa.
We just heard about a visa category named carer visa. Can you please explain to us?
Okay, so a carer visa is a visa which allows a relative of an Australian citizen or permanent resident to come to Australia and care for their relative, but you have to be related. Then the relative needs to show that they can't reasonably obtain the care that they need from local government agencies and other support services in Australia. As a general rule, the processing time on these applications are very extended, often more than 10 years. But if you are onshore, you can apply for a carer visa, and then the processing time is not really a problem because you are onshore and you have a bridging visa A and you can remain onshore, but the processing times are very extended.
What are the criteria for a carer visa?
You need to have an Australian citizen or permanent resident relative, mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, aunt. That's as a general rule, but you've got to be related. And then they have to have a disease or a condition that requires them to have care. That level of care is determined by reference to a medical report prepared for and then ultimately analysed and assessed by the medical officer of the Commonwealth. So you've got to have some serious medical condition, and they have a scoring protocol. But all of that information you can obtain online or through the services of a registered migration agent, or you can contact me. It's not a problem.